US recognizes Libyan rebel TNC as legitimate authority. The United States has recognized the Libyan opposition as country's legitimate governing authority. That means billions of dollars of Libyan assets frozen in the US banks can be released to the rebels. The decision was announced by US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton at a diplomatic meeting in Istanbul. Western and Arab members of the Libya contact group are drawing up a plan to end hostilities which will be presented to Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. The United States views Gaddafi regime as no longer having any legitimate authority in Libya, Mrs. Clinton said. And so I am announcing today that until an interim authority is in place, the United States will recognize the TNC, Transitional National Council, as a legitimate governing authority for Libya, and we will deal with it on that basis. She added that the TNC has offered important assurances today, including the promise to pursue a process of democratic reform that is inclusive both geographically and politically. Other foreign ministers said the whole contact group, including more than 30 Western and Arab countries, agreed to recognize the rebels. Many contact group members have already individually recognized the TNC. Italy's Foreign Minister Franco Frattini said the decision left Colonel Gaddafi no other option but to leave power. Sound of post-Soviet protests, claps and babes. At the time appointed for Wednesday evening's anti-government protest, here in the capital of Belarus, scores of burly plainclothes officers were waiting in Yakub Kola Square. Their job was to prevent it from happening. But it was really difficult for them to know who among the skateboarders, young urban professionals, and stolid-looking grandmothers was taking part. The park benches filled up and then the stone curbs, but the activists, following instructions posted on an internet site, were not actually doing anything. That was the whole protest. Plainclothes officers with camcorders meticulously filmed the face of every person in the park and forced a few demonstrators, struggling and shouting, into buses. But the sixth of the weekly clapping protest had eliminated clapping, which presented both the police and activists with some tough questions. Can you really detain people because their phones are beeping? And when you cannot tell who is protesting, is it still a protest? India successfully launches GSAT-12. India on Friday successfully launched its latest communication satellite, GSAT-12, on board a powerful variant of homegrown Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle PSLV C-17 from the spaceport in Sriharikota. In a textbook launch, Indian Space Research Organization workhorse PSLV lifted off from the second launch pad of the Satish Dhawan Space Center at 4:48 p.m. at the end of the 53-hour countdown and placed the 1,410 kilogram GSAT-12 into orbit about 20 minutes later. We'll move on to the business world. Google results show growing strength. In the internet time, Google, founded in 1998, is ancient. But on Thursday, its financial report suggested that it could successfully become more than a search engine and compete in modern internet world dominated by sharing real-time information with friends and on the mobile phones. Although Google, as usual, did not break out the numbers from different strands of its business, overall its results were so robust, easily blowing past Wall Street expectations, that analysts said they indicated growing strength in more areas than just search. In after-hours trading, Google's stock price climbed 12.64%. It had been shown down 9% for the year. Part of what also gave Wall Street heart was that Larry Page, Google's co-founder and new chief executive, participated in the conference call with analysts and made lengthy remarks about his vision for the company's future for the first time since he took over in April. "They are firing on all 6 cylinders now," said Jordan Rohan, an internet analyst at Stifel Nicholas, pointing to Google's 6 businesses: search, display advertising, YouTube, the Chrome browser, and Android mobile operating system. And now Google Plus, its new social network. Google is now officially a V6. But other analysts said that while the results proved that Google's core search business was even stronger than they thought, new business like Google Plus and Android were far from generating revenue, yet the company continued to spend heavily on them. Welcome to the world of science. Beehives stop elephant crop raids in Kenya, Africa. Innovative beehive fences have helped a community in Kenya to successfully protect crops from elephants, according to research. Scientists found the hives to be a very effective barrier. Elephants turned away from them in 97% of their attempted raids. Conservationists suggest elephants' natural fear for bees could settle ongoing conflicts. The hive's honey also produced additional profits for farmers. Over the past 20 years, elephant numbers in Kenya have grown around 7,500, and population boost is widely heralded as conservation success story. However, conflict between elephants and humans, especially farmers, is an ongoing problem. Previous research into natural deterrence showed that elephants avoided African honeybees. In 2009, experts from the University of Oxford, UK, and the charity Save the Elephants set up a trial project to test whether beehives could prevent conflict on farmland boundaries. After 2 years of observation, the full results of the trial have now been published in the African Journal of Ecology. Why can't we try it in Kerala? We also have the conflict. Instead of electric wire fences, we can try for beehives. And in sports, India to play Davis Cup in Japan. India has been drawn to play Japan in the Davis Cup World Cup playoff tie to be staged from September 16 to 18. It's winnable tie. The draw could have been a lot worse, said the captain of the Indian Davis Cup team, SP Mishra. The captain felt Japanese could possibly offer slow clay, but said the way the Indian team fared against champion Serbia in the World Cup group first round earlier this season, he was optimistic that the boys could continue to deliver their best, irrespective of the opposition. Somdev Devavarman had beaten Django Tipsarevic in straight sets in the second rubber on the opening day, after Rohan Bopanna had stretched Viktor Troitsky to 5 steps, despite not having been in touch with singles play on the professional circuit. India has an enviable 18-3 win-loss record against Japan and managed to beat Japan in its backyard the last time in 2001 in Tokyo. The last defeat for India against Japan was in Osaka in 2004. And before we close today's event of news analysis, let's have a recap of the main points. Why does Mumbai bleed again and again? Mumbai blast, investigators look to CCTV for clues. Rebekah broke through signs from Murdoch's British subsidiary. Troops kill Kashmir militants as fighting continues. Syria, protesters die as troops open fire. US recognizes Libyan rebel TNC as legitimate authority. And there we end today's event of news analysis. Be with us in the coming weeks too, and you can be informed well. Thank you very much.